And I think many people who live in the West, especially Muslim women who are westernized, who don't understand their own intellectual history, miss this point that in Islam, one of the things that was done to affect the status, the role and status of the woman was to change the mindset of the males with regard to their daughters, their mothers, their sisters, and their wives to a new way of looking at themselves. Because now the men are being told that you men are garments for your wives and they are garments for you. In the past, they didn't see it that way. The women are just milestones around our neck because our dignity and our honor could really be drowned in this ocean of shame. But now, with Islam coming, the Arab of pre-Islamic Arabia was transformed to a man of nobility who takes pride in being the garment for his wife and his wife being the garment for him. And that he begins to protect the honor of the family, the honor of the ummah. That was a major revolution of the Prophet. And of course, most of this transformation which took place in Arabia would not be replicated in the other parts of the world until the 18th, 19th century. Because if you look at what happens in the biography of the Prophet ﷺ and the history of Islam, you will see that the status, the role and the status of the woman did not only change from what I described earlier to you, given those categories of relationships that existed under Jahiliyyah, but with the Quranic revelation coming down and women being given the same status as the men with regard to divine injunctions as to what to do in terms of the 5 pillars and all the other responsibilities that Muslims are supposed to do, you now begin to see a change of attitude. Because what happens now is that the Muslims, theologically, were not to follow the footsteps of the Yahudi and the Nasrani with regard to their conception of women. Because in the Christian Bible and the Jewish Torah, women were made out of the rib of Adam. In the Quranic narrative, that's not true. Hawa was created separately from Adam. And Hawa is not the rib of Adam, as the Christians and Jews are told. So Allah made a separate creation, that was the woman. And of course, that theological narrative of the creation of Adam and his wife, Eve, would affect the role and status of women during the time of the Prophet. Because they too were part of that vice regency of the human being. Khalifatullah fil ars. You have that responsibility and that obligation, so you are responsible. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ made sure that this happened. Now, this immediately affects the relationship of the Prophet and those women who were living contemporaneously with him.